Good morning to you all. I would like to share how Swami Abhishiktananda lives in my spiritual life, in my spiritual journey. The most important thing of Swami Abhishiktananda was his search for truth, search for God. And it reminds me of the saying of Jesus Christ, first of all, seek you the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all things will be given to you. And I would say that he was a real disciple of Christ because he always searched for God, for the kingdom of God. Swami Abhishektananda was not a blind believer, but he had the question to think critically. He did not remain himself within the boundary of Christianity, but he had the courage to leave that boundary. And for me, his entry into India and collaboration with Father Jules Moshana was a revolutionary stage for Christianity. It was a paradigm shift from conversion to dialogue. This vision has not yet fully penetrated into Christianity, but I think it will take many years for Christianity to realize this truth. Swami Abhishektananda was not just an admirer of truth, but he fully emerged to realize the truth within himself. He wanted to make the wisdom of India his own wisdom, his own experience. And this made him to take a path which nobody has taken in Christianity so far. And he had no guides. He was on his own. And that put him into also a kind of inner crisis many times. It was the first time a Christian has gone very deep into the wisdom of India. And one important aspect of Swami Abhishektananda for me is that he liberated Christ from Christianity. Jesus Christ is not identical with Christianity, but he is bigger than Christianity. Swami Abhishektananda, he makes exclusive Christ into inclusive Christ. And for me, this is the truth that really carries in my own spiritual search. This also made him to see the limitations of Christianity, the limitations of the Catholic Church. One important aspect of Swami Abhishektananda that helped me to understand Jesus Christ is experience of the Upanishads equating with the experience of Christ. And I think it is very important for Christianity because Christianity our biblical tradition does not have instruments to understand the experience of the spiritual experience of Christ. All the Christian inquiry has been focused on saying who Jesus Christ is. And of course, they were able to say that he is fully human and fully divine. But that vision also created a kind of spiritual apartheid between Christ and Christians. Christ is fully human and fully divine, but Christians are fully human. And the question of the Indian sages has been, who am I? Not what somebody is, but who am I? 500 years before Christ, they came to the realization that they were one with the divine. For example, where Jesus Christ said, I and the Father are one, he was not telling anything new, which was not in the human consciousness, because it was already there in the Indian wisdom 500 years before him. And so the journey of Swami Abhishektananda in a way helps Christians to understand the experience of Christ in the light of the Upanishads. Another important aspect of the discovery of Swami Abhishiktananda is that freedom, awakening, has to take place in this life. It's not something happens after our death. One of the limitations of Christianity is that it has postponed our freedom after death and closed the door to realize this freedom in this life. And I think in this way, Swami Abhishiktananda prepared the Christians to grow into Christ, who is bigger than Christianity. And for me, this is the most important aspect of Swami Abhishiktananda, which guides my own spiritual life. As we see today, that Christianity is crisis very much in Europe. And I think the future of Christianity is to grow from Christianity to Christ. Another important truth of Swami Abhishiktananda, which I carry with me always, is that God is greater than religions. Truth is greater than religions. Of course, dialogue with religions is very important, but there is no permanent solution at the level of dialogue. I think we need to go beyond religious labels. For me, this is the greatest challenge of Swami Abhishiktananda to Christianity, but also to other religions. It makes me to understand that there are two types of spirituality. One is based on religions as belief systems. In this spirituality, first comes religion. Second comes God as understood by that religion. The third come human beings who has to worship God in that. In the spirituality based on God, first comes God, second come human beings who are greater than religions, and third come religions which are meant to be at the service of human beings. And so I think this is the paradigm shift that Swami Abhishiktananda gives to me, that we need to go beyond religious labels and focus our spirituality on God. This is what he calls the Advaitic experience of God. You know that the greatest discovery of the Indian sages, a person can ultimately say, I and God are one. In the Upanishad, this experience is possible to everybody and not limited to one particular individual. But unfortunately, Christian tradition has limited this experience only to Jesus Christ and closed the door to the Christians. For me, this is really the challenge of Swami Abhishiktananda to Christianity, to open to all Christians the experience that Jesus Christ had. And I would say that this is also the future of Christianity. That means all Christians are given the possibility to enter into the Christ experience. And so when we see the crisis in Christianity today, it is something positive because it is an invitation to grow from churchianity to Christ. Swami Abhishiktananda always speaks about I am experience of Christ. And Jesus many times speaks about I am the light of the world. I am the door. This identification, with this I am, the eternal I am, is again the great proposition of Swami Abhishiktananda to Christians. And as I said, it is very, very difficult for Christians to really understand and accept that vision. In general, this experience is limited only to Jesus Christ. In order to enter into that truth, one must have a purity of mind and heart. Jesus Christ said, blessed are the pure of heart, they shall see God. And that means one should have an unconditioned mind and unconditioned heart. In general, we are all conditioned by our own belief systems. So we do not see God directly, but we see God through the clouds of our belief systems. And that is why we are not able to see the truth that unites us, but we see the truth that divides us. And I would say that Swami Abhishiktananda had this pure of heart and pure of mind. And he was able to go beyond the clouds of conditioned belief systems and see the truth directly. And there is another statement that Jesus said, blessed are the peacemakers, for you shall be called the children of God. The vocation of Swami Abhishiktananda was to be a peacemaker. And to be a peacemaker, you have to work at the boundaries of religions. But he was able to go beyond the boundaries and see one truth, one God, and one humanity. And for me, this is the kind of vision that I carry within me. Swami Abhishiktananda was not somebody who is dead, but he is alive in my own search and in my own understanding of life. Of course, I did not see Swami Abhishiktananda directly with physical presence, but I would say I am more like Saint Paul, who encountered Christ on his journey. And I would say that I encountered Swami Abhishiktananda and also the other founders of Shantivanam in my spiritual search. I was in the seminary to be a priest in my diocese, but I had so many questions, so many doubts. By the grace of God, I began to read the writings of Swami Abhishiktananda and Father Bede. They helped me to come out of my spiritual crisis. I realized that my vocation was not to be a priest in a diocese, but to search for truth, to search for God beyond religions. And after my theological studies in 1984, I decided to leave my diocese and come to Shantivanam. I realized my call was to follow the founders of Shantivanam. And this is the wonderful thing happened in my life. I am almost now 40 years in Shantivanam and take forward the vision of the founders, which still is very far from the Christian tradition. Swami Abhishiktananda and other founders of Shantivanam will really help Christianity to make this transition from Christianity to Christ. And so in a way, we can say that Swami Abhishiktananda, Father Jules Moshana, and Father Bede are really hope to the evolution of humanity in Christianity. And I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with you.